Boom, 5150, Jimmy Cabs, ABADDON. That's some establishment that we're not going to mention because they asked us to get the fuck out. Here we are.
Why would they do that, Jimmy?
Right? Can you believe that?
Why would they do that?
I get no respect, man. I get no respect.
No respect, man.
1985, Venom's Legions welcomed Venom on their first U.S. tour here at Hollywood Palladium. I mentioned that before, and I keep mentioning that I used to be very thin and had a slim waist, super long. Oh, you look great. You look the same. Bottom line, here's the deal. 30-something years later, Venom is touring the United States yet again with a new record. Ave, Nuclear Blast, came out in August. Go get it. ABADDON, welcome to the 5150. You're playing tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Feel very good. We're in about 2-3 weeks now, and all the corners are getting ironed out. Everything feels good. Played a Storming gig last night in Slim's and in Frisco, and we're here now.
I asked Mantis this, and I'm going to ask you the same thing. Dude, it's 30 years later. Are you amazed not only at the fact that you've been able to maintain that original audience, but now you have a whole new crop of kids that they weren't even fucking chromosomes?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense because it's the albums, the big albums that people talk about, the early albums, you know, they're getting handed down now. Dads are handing them down to kids and uncles, you know. And these kids are coming up with sort of the corners bend in on black metal, you know. But it's like handing down an old book or something, you know, with respect and with love and pride, you know.
Do you like the fact that you're like the Grateful Dead of metal? I mean that with all respect.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm one of my favourite bands, so yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, I like that. I like the fact that we can have this longevity. I don't see why not, but it's a lot of people along the way have said that Venom maybe should have packed in earlier, and we should have stopped after 1 or 2 albums.
Who has said that?
It was said in British magazines in the back end of the 80s, and it was, which is a pity because that's when Demolition Man came into the band in the 90s, and we did Primeval and we did Temples of Ice and Wastelands, and that's kind of, well, that is the lineup that's playing now, but that's kind of that's the Venom that version of Venom that we're bringing back to the stage now. And when you listen to Ave, I think it's very different to Welcome to Hell. It's very different to Primeval, but in production and whatever, and in the songwriting. But when you listen to them as a group of albums which are like 30 odd years apart, you can still hear that it's that band. It couldn't be more ahead. It's not Dio. It's Venom, you know. And
the innovators.
And it sounds. Maybe that's it. You know. Maybe that's why it's such a big deal. We still sound the same. We can go on tonight and we'll play Leave Me in Hell. We'll play Live Like an Angel off the very first single we did, and we'll play War off the new album right after it. And they sound like they belong together. They don't sound like out of place, you know.
But see, here's the deal. Let me just say this right off the bat. That whole controversy's over, ABADDON. You've already established this is Venom Inc. for the lawyers, because you're all together enjoying each other. Number one, you enjoy. It's very evident to me when I see you play that you're enjoying each other. It's not none of this. Fuck! I got to be on stage with this motherfucker. How long is this set? How much do we got? Did the check clear? You know, you're enjoying playing with each other, touring, and then going with that energy into the studio to create new music.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that's not difficult. That's something that we do naturally. It's not a.
You should be commended for that.
This isn't a job, you know. It doesn't matter how much we do this or how long we go with it. It's got to be fun. It's got to be fun to be on the road. You know, it's not a straightforward job. It's not a glamorous job. People say it is.
Sure,
people
man,
think, it's a little.
You're still a good-looking man. I mean that in a heterosexual way. You sure? I've seen the young girls that are coming to these shows. No, it's not 1983, 84 anymore.
It's a whole different kettle of fish, you know.
By the way, let me ask you this. I know you're a mature man. I'm sure you're probably with a significant other. But how do you feel playing to these new audiences when there's like so many attractive young ladies? I feel like a creeper when I go to your shows.
Well, I mean, I get to sit behind.
They weren't there in 1984, 85.
I get to sit behind the drums and hide, so I'm all right. I'm safe. I just stay out of the way at the back. Stay where the whiskey is.
Right. Do you enjoy the critics' response to Ave?
Yes, it's very kind of grown up now. It's not. I used to have this big deal with the press in the early '80s, where I think there were a lot of people who'd been in bands who were then writing for magazines. I think now you tend to get people who write for magazines or who are writers, so you know that they're creditable people doing what they do, and it's they're not kind of
That's me.
they're not kind of
worried about me. He's referring to me.
Yeah, they're not kind of wanting to be in bands anymore. They want to write and they want to be, you know, what they do, and so that's why we're getting reviews, I feel, which are they can be a little bit scathing at times. You know, they can be honest. They don't have to be, you don't have to have your nose stuck up somebody's arse. You can say, you know, I don't get these first 2 songs, or it takes half an album before I get into it. And we can take that and we can say, well, that's good, you know, that's a good thing, because when I used to buy albums by Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, whatnot, an album that hit me instantly.
Deep Purple, even the Stormbringer era with
right through to Tommy Bolin, you know, right through to all that stuff. I loved all of it. But the albums which didn't hit me instantly were the ones that stuck with me through life. The ones that grow on you, and the ones that you go back to them and you think, yeah, you know, that's pretty cool. The instant albums, the instant songs that hit you, sometimes they go by, you know. So I think Ave is a keeper. I think it's going to be people are going to be listening to it for a long time, you know.
Let me just say this: for me, I appreciate the fact that the record is based on today. You created the music in today. In other words, you're representing yourselves modern day. You're not going back and trying to do the whole retro fucking thing. Even though there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that artists like yourselves, who are the innovators, it would be somewhat a disgrace to yourselves to rely on the past. You guys have proven not only to stay and produce in the present, but it still has that trait of Venom.
Yeah, because that's the heart, that's the soul, you know. That's the heart and soul of the band.
It's organic.
When we go on tonight, it's going to sound like a band from a rehearsal room in 1982. We're going to kick the shit out of the thing, you know, and it's not going to sound slick. It's not going to sound overly produced, or, you know, we don't have like 15 different sound guys. We've just got a heart and a soul, and that comes out. It comes out every night. It comes out on the record, and you can't buy that. You know, you either get these people together, and you let us loose in your town, in your city. You know, and that's what we produce. That's all we can do. We don't make slick shit. We just go out and fucking hammer it, you know.
And that's what rock and roll is keeping it real. I got to ask this for all the drummers that you've inspired throughout the decades. They always send me fucking emails, and I hate these questions, but I got to burden you with it. Who inspired you? Who's your favorite drummer?
Cozy Powell.
Wow.
Cozy Powell, every time, yeah. Cozy was the man. I mean, I loved Ian Pace. But Ian is he's so technical, I could never achieve that. But when I saw Cozy, he was like a hammer. You know, he was like my era's John Bonham, if you will, you know. And it was like, the guy was just a hammer, and he was just fucking double bass drums, man. He looked cool all the time. He was doing it.
Highly underrated, no?
Maybe. I mean, he died too early, like a lot of these guys. He died too early. But I mean, Cozy raced motorbikes. You know, he went fucking camping up in the hills. He went fucking hunting. Cozy didn't give a shit, you know. And he was just a fucking gentleman to people, and he was nice. When he got behind that kit, man, fucking, you know, monster. Fucking, wow, monster, man. Monster.
Right on, man. ABADDON, Venom Inc., touring the United States. Ave out on Nuclear Blast. I shouldn't have to say this, but for the rest of you on the rest of the tour dates, go experience not only the magnitude of Venom, but go experience 3 guys that have been very, very instrumental in what this genre of metal and all these other genres that have spawned, man. The real deal. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you, Joey.
And we're out.